the dreams I have. But a very interesting thing started happening a few years ago. I always know that I'm in a dream, and I can also shift things. So if I don't like where the things are going, I simply change it. And that's really nice, because sometimes you can really, I don't know, benefit from the experience you have in the dreams, in ways of even having a good laugh in the morning. Sometimes we really enjoy talking about what we dreamt about in the morning. So it freshens up our breakfast time.
For me, it's the exact opposite. I have no idea of dreams, but I've always had really, really vivid dreams. And sometimes to the point where I wake up and I'm not sure if it was the reality or, yeah, it gets quite disturbing at times. Yeah.
Wonderful. Oh, I love both of these perspectives. Thank you so much. We will totally explore them. They very well fall into the categories of dreams that we will talk about. You have 2 different categories of them. Beautiful.
So then we have Anna, Miriam, Anna, and Sylvia.
Anna,
Like
Miriam, Anna Kucheba, and then Sylvia. So Anna from Belgrade first.
I know you guys are beautiful, active dreamers here.
Yes.
Hi everyone. Well, that is the topic that I'm so interested in since forever. And when I was young and when I was living alone, I have really a lot of time to do some dream work and some courses. And but I remember one really great thing that I can never forget. While I was on that workshop course of astral travel, we were working a lot with dreams and on lucid dreams. And one night it was so amazing that I had a nightmare, really bad nightmare. And then suddenly, like, I came from above myself, and I was like softly telling my other self who was asleep, wake up, wake up, wake up. And then that other me woke me up, but not my body, but just some part of my consciousness where I said, aha, I'm dreaming. Now I'm gonna do whatever I want. And I went back to that dream and changed everything. The person who was so terrifying, I just with my fingers said, now you're gonna shrink, you'll be so small. And I remembered where I lived, and I like, aha, this was that trick, but I can change everything. And I changed everything. And it was such a wonderful feeling that I carrying with myself ever since, you know, that I felt that, yes, I'm really powerful to do many different things in this reality too. Unfortunately, I didn't continue to seriously work with dreams, and I always intend to continue because I sense huge possibilities there. But yes, then like this normal life took all of my time. So yes, I just know that there's something huge there and would really love to explore some more and to have some path like Domino or any path that will help me, give me the steps and not to search all by myself. Like that workshop also gave me instructions in what way to go to try to explore. That's it.
Wonderful.
Thank you. And you're completely right. When you feel that there's a huge power in there, yes, you're feeling right. And somehow, and it's not by coincidence, but somehow the access is not easy. Even for us, it keeps escaping. It's somehow there, but not there. And, you know, there are reasons for that, because the greater the power, the more difficult it seems to get there.
Yeah. I'm curious to hear what you have to say about it.
Yeah. We will definitely open this topic, and maybe this is the right time to start seriously considering to work with dreams for all of us. So
Miriam.
Miriam, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm really excited also about this beautiful topic, and I've written some things down because I really like to be clear on what I like to share. I've always had very vivid dreams, like very vivid. And your question was, how do you consciously connect with your dreams, or how do you, I'm getting a little nervous by talking about it. But what I do every night before I go to sleep, I do ask and I connect to receive the best dreams for me to receive at that point in the highest and best ways. And if there's any healing that is at the right point for me to receive. And when I wake up, I record often my dreams. And then it's about like 10 minutes voice message, all the things that I've remembered, which is a lot. It's like whole movies that, that I'm dreaming. And it's also about insecurities that I have in daily life. That's interesting, that come up. And often when I travel, for example, when I'm in Bali, in my dream, I think about, okay, I'm now in Bali, but I do not remember or do not recall how I got here, so I must be dreaming. And that's pretty interesting for me. And it when I was younger, there were so many scary dreams. Last week I've been receiving, which I perceive as healing in my dreams, which is pretty intense, but also I'm grateful for that. And the scary dreams are still there, but I do interpret them in a different way now. That was all.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you for all the points, because every point that you made is very significant, including this, you know, whether it's important how we got there or not. How do we know if we're in a dream in reality? Because as you will see, we will share that actual reality is no different than a dream. It's only there are more people who agree of the circumstances, but it's absolutely the same. So it's not always easy to know in which side we are, and they're really not that different. And
Yeah.
this that you last said, that encountering painful moments, it's super important, because this is something that we collectively have to go through in order to open our next level. So we will talk about that. So it's really not to be avoided. I want to say, no, it's actually, it's unpleasant, but it's work.
Okay.
So thank you. I'm just making those notes. We want to go into it deeper.
And it's really interesting because like, I think it was yesterday when I had this dream, I was dreaming about you, Victorio. And then you said, and I asked you a question and you said to me, but Miriam, you asked too many questions. You have to find it yourself. But thank you guys. I'll unmute myself. I mute myself now.
Yeah, we will also talk about what does it mean when we see other people in our dreams, what are they representing, and how much are they what we see. It's very interesting. Thank you for sharing. So and then we had Anna Kocheva.
Hello. Oh my God, this is such a huge topic for me. I could talk for hours. So I also made a list because I don't want to forget like the most important factors. So for me, I mean, the first dreams I remember, I was around 3 or 4 years old, and I remember them very clearly still because they were recurring. So this was like a recurring nightmare kind of that I had in very young years. So this was very interesting, like always the same ending, meaning that there was a point where I could make a choice, but somehow as a child, I never knew in this moment. And I always kind of chose the same thing, and it always ended the same way. But it's interesting, right? That there was this point of choice in these dreams when I was a child. Then, oh my goodness. Then I have like this crazy dreams within dreams within dreams. I think the most crazy was where I would wake up in a dream, like probably around 10 times before I truly woke up. in reality. And it really kind of, it started beautifully because I was like, oh my God, it's a dream, because I noticed that my windows were different and I was super fascinated. But then at some point I would kind of go back to bed and I would still wake up in another dream, and it scared me at some point. And so that was very interesting. But the interesting point also that I want to make is about the fear in dreams, because it's also a huge topic, because I noticed the more I go into fear, the more scary the dream gets. And if I manage to lighten up, like for example, make a joke, it's just, it disappears. It's like the power of the scary situation disappears, or of the scary entity. So that's very interesting. Then one of the most interesting dreams I had, for example, was when I smoke in a dream. I smoke DMT. And can you imagine, nothing happened. So I was disappointed. And then I wake up in reality. And then it comes. I got high by smoking in a dream. So, I mean,
wow.
it's like mind-blowing to me, because it's something like out of possibility, you know, in our reality, like how we decide what's possible or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then when I was around 20, I started having like sleep paralysis very regularly, meaning I would wake up and couldn't move. At some point, I started also having kind of like out of body experiences, but I think it's more like dream state, meaning that I would wake up regularly in the night in my bed, and I tried to turn the light on, and then it wouldn't work. And then in this moment, I knew, okay, I'm in a dream. And then with this state, I could, for example, like jump off the window and fly and like do all these things. Very interesting thing was also like one night, I remember like jumping out of the window, and then I felt like raindrops on my face. And then in the morning, I woke up and it was raining in the night. So also like my question is, did I really like I don't know, but it seems like I was there really, you know, outside, but in a dream body.
Mm-hmm.
So then I also have lucid dreams, which are super fascinating. And then in my lucid dreams, very often I will kind of see my programming, my own very stubborn programming, meaning that, for example, I had this lucid dream once where I was walking with my family, and I kind of realized, whoa, it's only a dream. And I was like, oh my God, I can do anything. And then my family is like, okay, come on, we have to hurry up. You know, we have this appointment. And I'm like, we are only in a dream. And they look at me and they're like, are you crazy? Like, what are you talking about? So in this dream, I ended up running away from my family. I was like, leave me alone. I want to, you know, do my things. And they were like, girl, you're really going crazy. We have to hurry up, you know? So it was super interesting. And then in another dream, that was beautiful lucid dream, I would like walk, and then there were like people coming, you know, from the other side. And then at one point there was a beggar, and he saw me. And then he looked at me, and I was like, oh my God, you know, like, stay away, you know? And then at some point he kind of started getting closer and closer. And then he said, like, you know, it's not going to end well. And then I really noticed my own program, because I have this program that tells me whenever there is something beautiful, like a beautiful lucid dream, you know, this program says like, oh, it's not gonna end well anyway. So why be so happy, you know? But it's my own program. So very, very fascinating. Okay, I don't want to forget, because there are some more interesting factors. Yeah, like for example, when I actually dream that I sleep, I had this amazing dream recently that I had an out-of-body experience while sleeping in a dream. And then I left my body, and my mom saw me in a dream. So I was like confused. I was, okay, she sees me, so probably I'm not in my body dream. And then I did a reality check in a dream, but didn't realize, because in reality check, basically what I did, there was a flower, and I turned it into a candle. And I was like, okay, so I am in my dream body, because I can change reality, physical reality. But I didn't realize that I was still within a dream while dreaming. So that is also something interesting. Like I was conscious, but not conscious enough to realize that there's another layer to a dream. Then sometimes what happens, I connect with different realms, like different entities. Like the most scary one was that I woke up because there were steps. There was like zoom, zoom, like a giant walking. And I wake up, I open my eyes. I'm in my room, in my bed, right? I open my eyes and I see my bed jumping, like boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, oh my God, you know, what's that? And this moment, like the steps stopped, and I just felt like goosebumps, like through all of my body. And I hear a voice like in a language I don't understand, like Lord of the Rings kind of language, but super clear. You know, if I could record it, it was super clear, like clear sentence and this language and this voice. And I got I freaked out and I woke up. But it was really fascinating. And then sometimes I have like dreams when I actually see the future. So some people will tell me, like some people I meet in a dream will tell me what's going to happen in 2 months, in 1 week, and it happens. And one of other interesting dreams that are connected to fears I have, sometimes I have this dream where something like pulls the cover from me. So it's very kind of realistic kind of dream. I'm in my bed and something pulls the cover or like throws me up. And then one time I got really pissed off. I was like, oh, okay, you know, like I am not afraid of you anymore. Okay, what are you? And then I sat on my bed and I looked at it and I couldn't really see it. I could just see, you know, like this, it was invisible, but I could see, you know, like the outline. And when I touched it, because I tried to grab it, it was like electric because I burnt myself. So that was also super fascinating because I do have a feeling I actually did touch something. There was something in my dream that was, you know, pulling this cover from me and like kind of, and what it was, is it part of me, you know, or is it something like outside of me? So all these questions. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the pulling the cover, I think more than one person will recognize the pulling the feet or the cover. It's important part of what happens with us while we sleep. Yeah, well,
So many important points. So many.
you are a really intense dreamer.
Mhm.
And definitely this variety indicates that you have a talent to turn it into something really practical. Yeah, so we'll try to
Super practical. You know,
cover that.
if you're able
Then
to touch, the physically touch, because all of a sudden that means touching with subtle senses, because we cannot touch with these senses, but even 1 week of meditation opens up the subtle senses and we become much more sensitive. So of course you were able to touch the real thing. And this is where these worlds are overlapping. So we will definitely cover that. There is even an example in some movies how it happens. You put the special glasses on and you see another layer of reality that was completely invisible before. Balinese priests have that option to see spirits with their spiritual vision. So it's super important that you're bringing that up. We will cover that.
yeah, so I think it was Sylvia. You had something to share with us?
Yeah, and we see you, Sheila. We will call you up. There are 3 people before you. So you don't have to tire your hand, yeah? Sylvia.
Thank you, guys. Wow, there are so many things about dreams, and it is a fascinating word. For a long time, I didn't remember my dreams, so usually I just went to bed and and got up really fresh. And then as I started to engage my intuition and my connection with the universe, it kind of started to open up. And at the beginning, it were more about just outworking the day kind of dreams. And then there were dreams that were showing me the future. And they were nothing like major messages. Some of the things were like very ordinary, that what I will be doing and how I'm going to do it. Like, for example, one day I was kind of gardening and I didn't have a garden, so it didn't mean too much. But when I was doing that gardening in that exact outfit with that person, then I remembered that, oh, this was, I was dreaming about this. So I had a couple of dreams like that. And I also did some workshops where we were combining fasting and dreaming. And for me, fasting was a very helpful way to actually have more vivid dreams and more colorful dreams. And there were dreams when I experienced lucid dreaming. And one was with my stepmother many years after her death. I saw her being at kind of in some sort of a school where the souls are out working what happened during the Earth time, and that was a really beautiful meeting because I think we could really heal many things during that dream. And yeah, since then the way I'm thinking of her, if I'm thinking of her, is changed completely. So it kind of changed me as well. And I think you, Vittorio, mentioned, but I'm feeling more and more as well, that actually life feels sometimes like a lucid dream. And the more I'm kind of approaching this, that, well, you know, this can be just like a dream sign. And basically, how am I approaching, or how am I asking questions from it? It will open different gates. It kind of takes that very serious and rigidness away, and it's just yeah, it makes it kind of sometimes funny. And the other thing, I also feel that death is also somehow lucid dreaming, astral projection, and death is kind of can be a journey. And I feel that, well, in Buddhist monasteries, people have been practicing this. And I think that is an amazing practice, just to be able to just journey out and continue in the cosmos. Yeah, thank you so much for listening.
Yes, so yeah. Oh, this is a big point that you made. Looking at reality the same way as we look at the dreams. And then you imagine what Lucas said and others who could change the outcome of their reality in the dreams. So what if it was not any different in the physical reality? So it's this massive focus that we have on reality, real, that is exactly our limitation for now.
Stop dreaming and get real, you know?
Yeah, get real. It's all a dream. So the reality is that everything is a dream.
What it actually means is we call you to come back to where we have persuaded you that you don't have those powers. But then we might decide otherwise. So
thank you for your sharing. And then we have Bella.
Good morning, everyone.
From the dreams.
Straight from the world of the dreams, yes. So for me, you know, dreams have been really powerful places where I get messages. I've never been able to work within the dream to change my reality, but I have been able to get messages from the dreams to change the reality. And that's been really powerful for me. So one of the strongest experiences has been, I was like 10 years or whatever, even more, like 2 decades ago, I was pretty sick. And in the middle of my dream, I get this powerful image. And it's not like, it's never direct, right? So in this case, like I saw a message of our lake in my country shrinking, and I would like coming out of there screaming, wanting to go, you know, like to go back to save that lake. And so it wasn't like a clear message, but I knew I had to go back to Armenia. And I got there and I had this like really powerful healing experience that my grandma took me to a healer, and I was like healed from this 4-year problem that I had. And then literally 2 weeks later, she passed away. So if I didn't listen to the dream, I wouldn't get there, and I wouldn't, you know, receive this healing from her. And this has happened a lot, but I really want to like explore this further, how I can, because oftentimes I don't know what the messages mean. Like in this case, it was a very clear one, but many times it's very symbolic, right? So I want to really understand the symbolism behind it and be able to read these messages more clearly, because sometimes it's very much direct. I know it's related to like what's happening in the world and to other people. So I'm like, well, should I tell them I saw the dream? But I know it's not direct. So like if they die in a dream, it doesn't mean that they're actually going to die, you know? So it's like, you know, and I've been trying to get information from books, but it's not, you know, one interpretation is one way, another is another way. So, you know, just want to understand it and further be able to see how I can. And I've noticed how when I change things, shift things in my reality, my dreams definitely stop giving that message. So it's like, I see the parallel, but I would love to also work the other way, where I can, work within the dreams as well. Thank you. Very fascinating topic.
Yeah, thank you, Bella. Definitely, we can work both ways.
Yeah, just a quick word about interpreting the dreams. Many thousands of books written about what things that you see in the dreams mean, but actually they're not relevant. They're not very universal. It's more the categories are universal, but not like if you see a black bird, what does it mean? So it does give us information and hints, and we will talk about who is the one giving hints and how you can actually very efficiently access those hints.
Because the symbology means different things depending on what level, what realm we are in. And this is important to establish first from which realm, where we even are. So, yeah. Beautiful. So we have Uwe, Marina, and then Sheila, and then we dive in.
Hey, everybody. So, yeah, my experience with dreams is also very contrary. So I don't remember dreams very often, actually. So most of the time I must dream, but I can't remember when I wake up. Maybe I sleep so well. I don't know how this works. But I remember I was also a little bit, Anna with her stories, really, really cool. So I remember a dream. It was very, very vivid when I was young. And it was just before Christmas or so. And I remember in the dream, I got a present, a bow and an arrow. I was so happy. I was super happy with that present. And then I woke up and I realized it was a dream. I was so frustrated. I was so disappointed. I cannot tell you. And in the real Christmas, so to say, I got a different present, and it made me very, really unhappy. So
an encyclopedia,
yeah. So maybe you can talk about how better to remember dreams. I have heard, drinking water or something before going to sleep, and so this could be something. Yeah, maybe. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, first of all, I hope you understand that you need to get into archery. But about remembering the dreams, there's also a point that it really doesn't matter if you remember it, as long as you remember to actually work in it. Because once that the work is done, it really doesn't matter what you bring over here, but it could be interesting. So yeah, there are ways to work on that as well.
It's actually interesting that you say this, because sometimes I wake up and I feel I have done so much work, but I can't remember anything,
Exactly. I can relate. Sometimes I wake up and I say, okay, now I'm ready to go to sleep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we will cover that. Marina and then Sheila. Marina.
Hi, everyone. It was so long ago, I forgot what I wanted to say. No, it's certainly, I had a very vivid and very, very strong dreams my first half of my life, and to the point of I would wake up literally crying if I was crying in my dream, and I would wake up in the same mood, either positive or negative, depending on what I was dreaming. It was so strong. I would carry it into the day, and like I was really super sensitive to that. And then I remember 7 years ago, I actually started my recovery from addiction. And as soon as I actually stopped with the abuse of alcohol and drugs, I actually stopped dreaming. And I have no idea where the logic is, but I don't think I stopped dreaming. Well, people say that you dream, but you don't remember. I don't really know, but I have a feeling that there was nothing happening at all. And recently I started seeing a therapist who does somatic experiencing. So obviously everything is in the body and where the trauma is held, and it's not talk therapy. And since I started doing that, I'm actually noticing my dreams coming back, but I have a very hard time catching them. So I was keeping the notebook in the bed, you know, because I do wake up almost always around like 2, 3 a.m. to go to bathroom or something. And I try to write them down because that's how I mostly remember them. But I see notes later, like I don't even I don't even write so that I can read my own handwriting, or I write something that doesn't make any sense because I'm still kind of sleeping basically. And I was reading a lot about setting the intentions first to dream and then attention to actually remember the dreams. But I still didn't manage to really dive in. And I'm very interested because I don't know what happened with that whole break of literally like a seemingly a vacuum space where nothing was going on. And I really missed them, no matter what they are, but I really miss them. It kind of seems like a part of my life is missing, or my consciousness or subconsciousness or whatever it is. So that's me.
Mm,
Well,
thank you, Marina.
well, I think this is the right place to address immediately what happened to absence of dreams, because actually it's a whole personality that is the dreamer. We have our inner dreamer. Usually it's very active as a child, and that's the one who also doesn't know the difference between dreams and reality. And then at some point in life, that little dreamer can get cut off by, you know, by being told to stop dreaming, or it's dreaming day and night. Yeah, that inner personality is dreaming day and night. So when it's told repeatedly to stop dreaming, well, it actually does. And that's why many adults, those who are, you know, very serious, very much in the mind and very much into, you know, the rational daily lives, they don't they think they see dreams, and, you know, brain processes something, but they don't remember because the dreamer is kind of gone. It's an inner personality that's been so kind of kicked out that it doesn't interpret, it doesn't receive that current and doesn't interpret it.
And in your case, what it could be is that it has just been kicked out by the inner personality of the addicted inner personality that generated their dreams from their addiction combined with whatever they're in. So we would need to revive your original one that has been kind of beaten out of actually habit of acting. So let's hear Sheila and her sharing, and we dive in.
Okay. Hi, everyone. This is a fantastic topic. I love dreamings and dreams. So I have a book, paper, and a pen next to my pillow. So I'm looking forward through the night, what is going on tonight. Not every night, but mainly because I like to dream. The dreams can be really scary. I can wake up and like some, you know, chipping after my breathing, or happy, also happy dreams, really loving and caring dreams, and also scary dreams that I see my own power in it, because like I have created it, or the message is, remember you are powerful, you know, like really big earth explosions, kind of those kind of things. And also scary movies, dreams that I know I will die, and right, you know, in that moment I wake up, you know, and I'm alive. And I also see the interesting thing, like the dreams and the reality. What is what actually? Because the dreams are so, you know, it's affecting me so much. So it's strange to wake up to this dream. Maybe we are sitting here and dreaming, who knows, in one way. So it's really interesting. And the latest one, it's affected me also and powered me so much. Some of you know that I broke my leg in January. And since a week, I can now start and walk really slowly with my, you know, these things, because I don't have muscles. You know, everything everything is fine, but I don't have muscles in this imbalance. However, I was dreaming that I was walking freely and without pain. It was super easy. And I was like, okay, when I woke up, it was like, okay. And I was really, really happy and spreading out for everyone. So when I woke up, like, okay, I don't have to worry. I will be fine. So I carry that with me because I'm still, it's practicing and training and need to have time and trust for everything because it's pain. So that was a really nice dream. So whenever it's like, okay, relax, I will walk and ski again. Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you, Sheila. Yeah, so for you also, the reality and dreams are merging, and it does make sense. It completely makes sense.
Yeah, so then here's the place to answer the base question of what are dreams, yeah? And dreams are those parallel scenarios that we haven't chosen to live. Every day you make choices, and accordingly your reality shifts. But millions of other use on different strings are available at the same time. And sometimes, you choose less than good for you, and sometimes you choose better. But in the dreams, you can visit those parallel scenarios that either didn't come true. For example, you were not rude to the person that you really wanted to insult, but then in the dream you somehow venge, or like in this reality you have the leg in pain, and in a parallel reality you are walking and it's all fine. So those realities are happening at the same time, but while we are in this wake state, we can only project one channel, the current one that is going on. In a dream space, we can explore all those that we didn't live, and maybe see, okay, if I had done that, well, this would be the outcome. So those are parallel realities, because we live in a holographic universe where things are floating in a big soup, and we're inhabiting with our consciousness a little tiny dot on seemingly a string. Yeah, so that's what dreams basically are. But then, so Vittorio, you want to carry on?
Yeah, I wanted to add that this is connecting to the physical body, and that physical body has entered in this type of the 3D world. So that level, so we talked about the realms of a dream. So realm of a dream could be within this physical body, but it could be completely outside of this physical body. It could be connecting to the versions of ourselves that have been, for example, the opposite sex, or some other historical periods, or
having garden, like Sylvia had a garden where actually she didn't. So
and then it can be individual, but it can also spread and become the collective dream, something that where we actually feel ourselves as either a part of the whole humanity, and our decisions are actually influencing that part of humanity or the whole humanity, or even the other species rather than just human species. So literally there are depths, and the more, it's almost like in a video game where we have to ungrade these zones in order to be able to work with them. And for example, Anna Kocheba has ungraded a lot of different zones through her work. And for some other of us, we have ungraded some zones that we know, and the rest of them are staying to be explored. But how we decided to approach today is to divide the dreams into the 4 different aspects so that we can cover some of them in a systematic way. So we wanted to talk about the night dreams. About part of them is the lucid dreams. And then we wanted to talk about the daydreams, and then reality as the reality that is also a type of a dream. So not very different than the rest of the dream, but in this reality, we have the attachment to the physical body. So all these realms have different rules of operation, and we will explore a little bit how or what each of them have to offer, how we can interact with them.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, an interesting physiological fact is that when you're dreaming, it's only the frontal kind of part, frontal neocortex, the one that processes information, that is shut off, but the limbic brain and other brain centers are on. That means that in your dreams, you are what you would be if you were not a rational, logical 3D person. Yeah. So that's about the flying. That's about jumping out of the window. That's about turning the flower into candle. That's about you know, being tall or small, disappearing, levitating. All of these capacities. Well, you know, if you are able to dream it, that means at some point you can do it. Otherwise, it wouldn't exist as a possibility, because you know, you're living in your hologram, where everything that exists there is available for you. But this part of the brain, the one that luckily sometimes also switches off, tells us you cannot, because gravity and this and that. And that's our collective agreement as human beings to be subject to the law of gravity. But not all human beings are subject to law of gravity. That means it's not a fixed thing. It's a belief. Even gravity is just an agreement. It's just a belief. So when your belief system, the one that is in the frontal neocortex, switches off because it needs time to process and kind of cool down, then the actual all possibilities, the limbic brain is full on and suggesting you all that you cannot do because of your limitations, like 3D limitations of beliefs. And literally, if we didn't have those fundamental beliefs, it's not like you choose to have them, you know, they're inbuilt within us. And that's what our work is, to slowly kind of disentangle and accept that here in the physical body, that reality that you dream of is as possible as you see it. And how interesting that we never question why is it possible to do it in the dreams and why is it not possible in reality. We somehow all agree that it's not possible. Well, it's not entirely true that it's not possible. It's just for now we have not accepted it as a possibility yet.
Yeah, and maybe we were not in the close contact with adepts who we can witness doing these things. But adepts who actually are able to bilocate, levitate, and all this are actually considering these things distraction from their real path, and they will really never brag about it or show it. It happens as a byproduct of their spiritual work.
Yeah, so when you don't see the dreams, it's either trauma or the little dreamer has been kicked out, because it's a special personality, the one that accepts that everything is possible. And it's a very important little aspect of ourselves. And we should kind of, whatever practices you do, really please call him or her in. It's, you know, I tried, and it's not even like she. My little dreamer is not even a she. It's like a little rainbow person that that holds this possibility of everything in whichever, like dream or physical reality. And if you get in touch with that inner body, maybe it's even a body, but it has a personality. So that will be your shortcut to remembering dreams and coming in and out, the inner dreamer. And it has, you know, nobody has ever given him a word or space, if anything, just neglected and put down. So that's a cool thing to try to do. And through that dreamer, when you explore who you could have been on parallel timelines, so Sylvia, for example, had a garden because a part of her that chose different things in life ended up having a garden. And during that dream space where, you know, boundaries are really non-existent and you switch from one thing to the other, she could see what it would be if she had a garden, or if you meet like a deceased person. Very often I was seeing my dear grandma in my dreams, and we were like before, and then I would wake up very, you know, sad because, you know, she is physically not there. And then I asked her in the dreams, you know, please don't come anymore because it's very difficult when I wake up. And then she actually stopped coming. So the dreams is also the space where we go beyond our notion of the person is dead. In this reality, our belief system has decided that the person is dead, so it does not exist anymore. But in a dream space, the person is not dead. She's just there in a different shape and different form. So we can easily contact the relatives or deceased persons in our dreams, but we have to ask for it, because there is a little law of non-intrusion. So it has to be respectful or invited for a specific purpose. Like Sylvia, you healed your relationship with the stepmother in the dream space. It's very, very potent for that. And there are so the way that the dreams are structured, there's little holograms. It's like holographic rooms. Sometimes you meet those people, never really in the nature though, yeah? It's always in some kind of rooms, or there's a perimeter, yeah? So these are the spaces that your guides and the other person's guides allow you to meet. There's always a third person. So when you go to do a healing work in the dream, there is a guide. There's someone who leads you to, let's say, a healing bubble where the encounter can happen. Maybe it's an ex-partner, maybe it's a current partner, but a lot of things can be solved there that cannot be solved within the framework of physical reality.
It's actually important to understand why would we even want to get in contact with somebody who had continued and passed on. And you know, in different cultures, there are different reasons. In Bali, they're all about continuing and calling in the ancestor to reincarnate and kind of continue living in that extended family. But it's really a type of attachment, of course, to attach to these things. And that's why at the beginning we mentioned this new era of Aquarius, where we are really infinitely powerful to create any sort of interaction with any part of the universe. So what would be the reason to connect to somebody who has been deceased? Maybe if there was an unanswered questions, but you can understand, what is this? This is a part of universal energy that decides to present themselves in the shape of your ancestors, mother, father, or whoever that is, in order to interact. If everything that is important in our life is moment of now, strictly speaking, none of these interactions are really necessary. But it's really important from which point we are calling that. And it can really slow down our evolution if we are attached and call these people in because of some sort of sentimental attachments. It's not good enough reason. That's all has been progressed. And in any way, it is a mirror of us. so we can ask ourselves the same questions.
So someone mentioned the movie Your Name. So there's one important law in the astral world, because if we're not aware, there's a lot of things. And depending on which frequency you enter the dream world, that will be your window of experience. So you can enter at a frequency where everything you see will be, you know, like your brain just taking a rest and feeding you like incoherent mass of impulses, yeah, like digesting the impressions of the day. You know that doesn't have really importance, because it, you know, characters change, place is not clear, everything moves into each other. So these are the dreams that really your brain was overloaded and it's clearing itself out. But then the other layer can be where you consciously interact with other people in order to do some work which you are not aware on this time. And that's where we have no record, and we are not supposed to remember those parts. So when you wake up and you feel like, oh, it has been a tough night, dreamless night, that means you went and actually lived another day somewhere else, and for your own sake of sanity, that door is closed, and you know you better don't see. So I wanted to break into that, because it was happening to me so much that I would have sleepless nights, dreamless nights, and I wake up very having accomplished something, and then people reported what they did with me in their dreams. Yeah. And I thought, you know, it's interesting. I have to check it out. And there's a little method how you can actually insist on remembering dreams. Well, when I saw it, I said, oh, thank you very much. No, keep it closed. I'm fine. I don't need to know. Because sometimes it's beyond of what you can understand. The other parts of yourself that you don't know about, maybe there's a good reason you don't know about. So if it's not coming to you, maybe it's a good idea not to go and look for it either, because you might be very, very surprised at what else are you doing in the night.
Well, that, and plus if the work is done on like 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th dimension, there is really not even a method that we can understand it with this setup of the tools that we have. So we understand it on that level, we have done it there. When you come back to this body, it doesn't make any sense. It could be like what the recollection could be. It's like, you know, like surrealist abstract painting. So it wouldn't mean much, but the work has been done within the creases of that abstract painting, you know, changing certain frequencies at certain levels. And
Exactly. Well, that was my experience when I insisted, and I really broke through this kind of black screen that prevented me from seeing. You know, it was a full-on Star Wars. I don't know in which galaxy, throwing the fireballs and avoiding like big monstrous things. It was a full-on action movie, and me getting into that aspect of myself skin. I was scared, but the one who was doing it was not scared. I said, like, what are you doing here? Get out of the way, you'll ruin the thing. It's like I was breaking into a scenario that is happening bigger than I can understand. So sometimes when parts of us are doing things that are bigger than what we can understand, well, we better stay where we are with our understanding, and it's fine. And when we'll be mature enough to be included in that kind of dreams, where our more evolved selves are in full action, they will be invited. Otherwise, we stick to what we can understand, and we try to change already and master that field that is available and open to us.
But it doesn't mean we don't do anything about it, because we still need to do the work of actually learning how to operate in the dreams. What Evie is saying is, it means that once from that perspective that we are actually consciously entering the dream space and actually doing something about it, and we are still not seeing it, then it means we have not yet deserved that level of access. And there is nothing concrete. The only reason why we would need to remember it, if we have something concrete to do with it in this dimension, it is not entertainment, guys. We're not doing this to kind of like watch the movies. We are doing this to actually do the actual work. If we are just going to do something cool and speak about it, well, we will be deemed not worth it to be included.
So another dimension to our night dreams is this, where you feel like somebody is pulling your feet and blanket. So unfortunately, that is very often, we're completely open field when we go to sleep, and if you don't take precautions to kind of have a sacred space around the bed, or be mindful, and we don't check in what frequency you go to bed. Once we made the little mistake of watching the Westworld right in the bed, and we saw the consequences. So you have to be really mindful that in which frequency you end the day just before you sleep. In that frequency you enter that world, and you access everything that is there in that layer of reality. So if for some reason you ended the day just so tired that you unplugged, and still some low frequencies hanging around you, well, then it's a little opening for the astral beings. It's that realm is very, very close to ours, and they can't do much physically, but they can create this sensation of like, some little greedy hands are touching you, or the blanket is being pulled. The worst is they pull your feet. And I thought that it was my thing, that somebody is pulling my feet, but no, it's their way of having fun, actually, of scaring you, because in that moment, nightmares are actually, food for some inhabitants of those worlds.
Yeah, this, what Evia talks about, are benevolent astral beings, but they also exist, the pre-programmed, almost like you can imagine a robot, pre-programmed entities that are actually programmed by a certain groups of magicians that are now super active with what's going on in the world, who program them to infuse certain things in people while they're in a dream space. So if you're not believing enough in a story in your reality time, well, they will add some elements to that story and program you during the nighttime if those precautions have not been made. And that's one of the important things that we wanted to share, is actually how to create, well, the need to create a special space, energetic space, before going to sleep and before engaging in dreaming. Because otherwise we are open to any sort of, you can imagine a little drone that is somebody's driving, and actually releasing a certain type of information on frequency in the unsuspected and unprotected body. That is
it's not even that difficult. It's not personal. It's infusing the collective subconsciousness, because when we sleep, we're connected in one field. So all the information goes to everyone. So the one who knows how to do it can program things, good or bad, into the collective subconscious, press send, and it's rippling out through everybody's minds. And then depending on the individual receiver consciousness, either your subconscious is strong and solid and bounces it off and doesn't allow in, or maybe it's the day of weakness and it actually accepts it, and then it kind of grows within. So those are very sophisticated techniques, and unfortunately we have to say that they do exist, they are active. It's a part of reality, and we need to know how to, like in the movie Inception, a dream within a dream within a dream, that we need to have our subconscious trained enough so that if some intrusion is happening, that our guards are spotting it and locking it out. And the feeling how you can know if something has been sent to you is when you wake up in the morning and you're like,
Yeah.
like different, you know, like sadness or kind of,
I have even like waking up and even seeing the feet, you know, getting out of the room, like running. Oh, you know, oh wait, he's being awakened, and they're running out at the moment, and it feels like something has been almost like certain level of rape, so to speak, not sexual rape, but rape of the body integrity. So as Anna has said, like if she could take DMT in a dream and then trip out of the dream, it's conceivable that somebody can vaccinate it while you so-called vaccinate, yeah, like try to program your RNA while you're in a dream, and then you wake up and your RNA tries to kind of respond to that. So
well, we just need to know that it exists, and you know, that we absolutely can roll over it if we're conscious about it, and if we secure our frequency before going to bed, and when we check how we wake up, if there's any sadness or you know, feeling off, you really have to catch it and immediately do something about it. A couple of nights ago, I woke up in that state. I said, that's not mine. And when you know what's not yours, you can do something about it immediately. And you just, you know, kind of flush it off with the first ray of sun that you see. Our natural state is the one of optimism, joy, enthusiasm, and curiosity for life. Anything less than that is not your path.
Something weird is going on. Exactly.
So catching it straight away.
Mention the blue cocoon, because it's a time to give a little recipe how to create that cocoon before going to sleep.
So the Manurians, it was very interesting. When we first met the Manurians, they said, you know, they're very, very professional on dream work, and they said, why would you waste like 8 hours per night? Oh my God, it's like another life. Why would you waste it? So they are super, super advanced, and they are visiting each other, doing the work in the dreams. So they have days of 24 hours because they work in a day and then they continue in the night. And in the night, they consciously do what they can do out of gravity field. So they do trips, you know, to some specific locations, or they study sacred language, anything. And they, you know, we assisted a casual conversation at the dinner table where the couple were like, what are you doing in my dream? The guy came to, he didn't do his homework for like sacred language, and he came to his partner in the dream to ask for the words, and she gave. So they are interacting as in the day, in the night, and they have really trained themselves to use that space without the physical limitations and to do all of that there. And their technique to stay kind of comfortable and safe during the night is to imagine that you're sleeping in a blue cocoon, light blue cocoon. So you create a light blue cocoon of several layers around yourself and your bed. You include it all, and you fill it with, you know, energy of your heart from inside. And you feel that it's elastic enough not to be stifling, but that it completely repels any, you know, bad intentions or thoughts that are projected that way. And it helps also if there are some, you know, astral beings visiting you or anything unpleasant. It definitely helps against nightmares. And it can also be done in any scary situation because it immediately cuts off anything that's not your own frequency.
The command needs to be.
It has to be light blue, and there's a feature why it has to be light blue, because it's nothing more than a dense layer of prana. And when those layers of prana are kind of, you know, like wrapped, they have this light blue. In your meditation, you can even see that prana has that color. So it's easier to command the light blue because then it will go to the right, let's say, composition of the shield. Yeah. Because it's at the same time, it's recharging and nourishing the physical body. So it has double function to keep you and really regenerate the physical energy.
And part of the exercise is to actually visualize that anything that is of a lesser frequency of love just simply bounces off of it. So you can just visualize everything bounces off as these sunglasses or the windows that are tinted glasses. So everything gets bounced off, only frequency of love and above can come true, and that's it.
Yeah, so that particular light blue, and when you connect, it's a little bit like the color of your pullover, Julia. That kind of, yes, that kind of, but translucent and very vibrant. And you know, you can imagine, but then at some point you will feel it. So that frequency on which you leave your body for the night is super important, because more kind of spiritual work you do, more also where certain targets, you know, as much as we wouldn't like to talk about the dark aspects of the night, we have to mention it here because it's, you know, we've been doing this energetic work for so long, and unfortunately, it's very innocent to think that it's just dreams. No, it's another world, and those who know what's going on there have advantage over those who don't. So really being careful of what you feel in the morning. It's not so important what you see in the dreams. So that is one point, that sometimes we attach importance of what we saw. What we saw is not that important. What we feel is much more important.
Yes.
Because the feeling will not lie. The image, you know, it might be scary, but you don't feel that bad when you wake up. If you see something scary and you do feel bad when you wake up, then, you know, really take your time, shower it off, do a meditation, and get it out of your system before it takes root.
This is a very important point. Actually, we over depend on mind and, you know, visual pictures, and that's what we would like to see in a dream. But the actual work that happens there happens in our energetic frequency field. So the net result of that work can be felt with everything else more accurately than with the mind, because mind doesn't have any reason to know this because it hasn't experienced it before, plus it doesn't have words for it. But our gut knows, and our gut, if it in the gut feels, oh my God, it has been a good work, I feel good about it, then we can even record that work. Part of some of the techniques with the dreams are to record it in a specific vessel of water and then drink it back, so that you also embody it in a physical body. But you record it as the set of frequencies. You don't record it as a story. I know that the mind would love to see the story because we are addicted to movies and stuff. But what's more important is what really happened. And what really happened is much more abstract than what mind can understand.
Yeah, so the mind collects the pictures, and we can really rarely trust what we see. So if there are dreams that feel that visually are super in detail, and the dreams that specifically when you see the sun, because very rarely we actually see the sun or like blue sky or feel the smell, or Anna, as you said, the raindrops. When you have a physical sensation within a dream, you can trust what you're seeing, because you are actually, you know, you are transported in another hologram that is on the top of the one that you are in. Yeah, it's a little bit complicated to explain where it is, but imagine it as Photoshop layers, yeah, that kind of go onto each other. They form the same picture, but each layer is very literally independent. So when you have a physical sensation that goes with the image, or even better, if you see some fixed features like this blue sky or the sun, or you feel the wind, then you can know that you actually were somewhere in another physical part of reality. If you see a teacher or a guru or a friend in your dream telling you something, that is most probably you yourself delivering the message. Because funny enough, you wouldn't believe it if it was you coming to yourself. Yeah, you wouldn't take it seriously. So usually you're projected to some sort of authority. Yeah, someone that you would trust to deliver that message.
Yeah, super important how we feel while the message is being delivered. Because if you feel suspicious about the message, it's right to be suspicious about it. If you feel that this is completely right and coming, that the message is trustful. So that's why it's important not just what we see, but to always tune into what we feel.
Yeah, and if you have doubt, because sometimes entities with weird intentions also come in the shape of what we know, because they read our energy field and they know what you would allow in. So they would take a shape of your deceased relative, or they would take a shape of someone that you really like, so that you are not defensive. And they know very well how to do that. And this is where your name comes very important. If you can gather that much of a power in your dream to ask, what's your name? Tell me your name. And you'll see interesting things happen. If you doubt, or someone is chasing you, or anything, at any point, if you can just manage to turn around and say, ask you, tell me your name. There's one very strong universal law that no one can lie about their intention. They can scare you or pretend, that's for sure, but they cannot hide their identity. If someone is asked to give the real name, they have to. It's a universal law. So what those scary entities would do in that case, if they come for you and you manage to get enough presence to ask, what's your name, they would rather go away than tell the name. Yeah. And if they come, for example, as Vittorio, and start telling you, what you have to do, I said, tell me your name. And if it's not, if it's someone borrowing that holographic image of Vittorio coming in your dream, then it would poof away, because there are consequences for borrowing identities. And there's a whole, other system of laws, but this one is very sure that you have always right to know whom you're dealing with. Sometimes when you ask, it could just reveal to be yourself. Someone, it's an entity borrowing a shape. And that goes also for real life. That goes for hallucinations, that goes for psychedelic trips, that goes for any aspect of your life, that you can always ask, what's your real name? Mm-hmm. And it's a command. You don't ask, it's a command. Like you command it to reveal the name. And this solves most of the entity problems altogether, because they are compelled to, and they don't want to, so they just take off. Also, they know which shapes you would not like to have, so they read your field and know what you're afraid of. If someone is after your energy, it's very easy. They scan and they see, oh, spiders. Okay, so let me look like a giant spider to get some yummy energy out of this person. So they take that shape. Monsters, dark figures, death, anything, they read the field of the person. That's why when we talk about monsters, it's not universal. Even every child sees a monsters in a different way. they take the shape that's the most scary for you. That's it.
Yeah, the room 42 from the movie 1984. Everybody knows what's in their room. It's what you most fear. So yeah, that's because it's your all subconscious playing that movie.
Mm-hmm. And Bella, you're right. We don't hear sounds in the dreams. Yeah, we rarely see any kind of playing music or something. We don't hear it. We see, for example, music being played, but we don't hear it because that sense is not usually connected to those realms. We can smell in rare occasions. We can feel the touch, but hearing is very is because it's telepathic. That's why you don't hear through the ears, but you hear through the being as if it was telepathic. Yeah, it's only in this acoustic space that our body inhabits that we have a sound that comes in and out as ripple waves. In other dimensions and realities, it's like already in the head.
It really depends how intimately you are connected to your sense of hearing. If you're a musician, it's very possible that you are also experience the sounds.
Yeah, because you have another extra ear developed, the special one that hears the music in the head.
From the dreams and came back and played them. So that happened a few times.
Yeah, so the boundaries are thin between like real life music outside that is somehow integrated in the dreams, someone saying something, even the alarm we successfully integrate into our dream and kind of press it in the dream and think that it's done. So the veils are very, very thin, and actually luckily that we do have some separation, otherwise we would be very, very confused. Yet, if we can manage to do the lucid dreaming part and explore the twilight zone between the wake and sleep state, this is where amazing things are possible. Programming our night dreams, that's a feature. A lot of people do it. A lot of people conclude their deals, choose their reality, and do amazing things in the dreams by connecting to other people's subconscious. It's even, it's a method, it's been proven, established, it's official, it's very much available to learn how you can ease any conflict in the workspace or even sell a house by connecting to the subconscious of the people that you interact with in real life, how to connect in the dream space and conclude the deal there. So when they wake up, they'll somehow feel compelled to just buy the house, or they have nothing against you anymore. Or, it's immense what are the possibilities working on that level through the collective subconscious.
The recipe there is given in that movie Inception, how somebody was persuaded to make a certain business decision based on the fourth level of dream, where they have been given experience.
Yeah, and the person wakes up and thinks that
it's their idea.
It's their idea. So many things are possible like that. It's of course a little training, and that makes us want to check. There's also one simple phrase: how do you know that you are awake? And are you absolutely sure that you know where you are, who you are, and what you are currently doing? So having a habit of asking yourself this question spontaneously, yeah, I'm absolutely sure where I am and what I'm doing right now. And you'll see, it seems like super easy. Of course, I know who I am. Check it out. Check it out every now and then. Are you absolutely sure where you are and why you're doing what you're doing? Let's say you're going for something. Whose idea was this? Was it programmed by some commercials? Where are you going? What are you buying? Or it's truly your choice. So do those reality checks, because this is so widespread, how we can be induced into ideas through our dreams, that it's worth checking, do you really know where you are and why you're doing what you're doing? And if you don't have a clear answer and you don't know why you are doing what you're currently doing, then understand that maybe something is off, and take it on from there.
Yeah, then probably a good thing would be to ground in some of these ways that we have shared in the previous teas, and then check again.
Yeah, so the real feeling would be the one of kind of lightness and purposelessness. Yeah, it's that you, not confusion, but you know where you are and what you're doing, because you know without knowing. I know it doesn't sound very concrete, but there's confused state of being where you are not quite sure about what you're doing, and then there's this like light understanding that it doesn't even matter if you know, because at some level you know. So check those nuances, and more you zoom in the nuances of how you feel about things daily, any moment of the day, this will give you the clue what has happened to you in the night and what can you adjust there to have a more kind of productive and coherent day on this side. And it's exploring the dream world is worth it, even just for understanding what is there, what is possible, what is happening, what can you get out of it, how can you fine-tune those messages. And exploring, I know we are looking for methods or some teachings or something, but basically it's just paying attention.
Yeah, first we need to learn the territory to see what we are even dealing with.
It's paying attention to your state just before going to sleep, understanding that it's a world of infinite possibilities that you're entering. So as Sheila is excited to go to sleep because she likes dreams, well, it's a very good thing, because actually you are tuning yourself to the frequency of something, experience. And because you don't mind whether that experience is good or scary or whatever, so this is what you're tuning yourself to. Your antennas are going to attract the experience for you, and you have a good movie like during the night. So adjusting the frequency of what you want to have, receive, do, be in the dream is where you start. If you decide that, okay, you just want a full body reset, that's what you ask. You tune really, not 20 minutes, a minute, like drop into the heart and put out the request to go to some regeneration, etheric regeneration temple, and really be specific of what do you want to regenerate in your body, what kind of physical help you want to have through that. And set that command, and you have to repeat it a couple of times, because the subconscious works either with shock or repetition. So as you don't want to shock yourself into something just before sleeping, then you have to repeat. In this way, the subconscious will take the command and go and deliver you exactly that. You have all experienced, maybe you want to wake up at 7 in the morning. You just command it in your head and you wake up at 6:58, just before, not at 7, just before. So the same way you can program any experience that you want or you need. If you need a message, if you need a clarity, you have to command it from the space of the heart into the field of the dreams so that your frequency on this side connects to that frequency on the other side. And you're literally just have to walk the bridge over. So this is just a little glimpse of infinite number of possibilities and power that we have there. And
this about
that same power, we would like to bring it also back on this side.
Yeah, this part about really giving that command and having something accomplished on the dream side is very much similar to what we covered in a Make a Wish and Make It Happen course. It needs to have really the same elements. It has to have the element of intention. It has to have the element of you completely picturing this final result and feeling it, that it has already happened, and that inner state of joy that this is already done. And then this is the full command. It's not just like the idea, it has to have all of those elements, and then it's delivered to the Dreamspace mailbox.
Mm-hmm. So one thing you don't really do in the dreams is asking for the future or directions, because it's a space that doesn't have time. So if you are asking for like, shall I move to another country, or where should I go next, avoid to do it through the dreams, because you might be misled, because you're asking in this field of every possibility. It could literally be any country of the world that you can be in, and the selection of what it is can be so so random, but it can feel so true. So we don't interact with the future in the dreams, because future is ours to create. So if you want to know something about your future, and like if you have a choice to make, instead of asking for the hints from the future, you better ask what it is that I need to see right now. And that is very close to your point today. So you will receive the elements of what it is that you need to see now to better make decision for where to move, or where to go, or where to travel. So don't expect the question and answer about shall I go left or shall I go right. It will just turn you in circles. Ask what it is that you need to understand, so that the road uncovers itself. So avoid the future related topics, questions, and interpretations, because when you're seeing yourself from the future in the dreams, it's just one of the million versions of yourself, which can or can not be true. So except for Sheila, who saw herself walking, that reality actually is where you can bring it. If you see the reality that you like actually in your dreams, you ask it to merge with your current one, like that, superposing. Yeah, anything you like in the dreams is like a shopping, like a shop. You say, oh, I like to have that talent, I like to have this, bring it on. You say, this is also me, that me knows how to do that, I like it, and I'm bringing it into me here and now. So you kind of establish more of a bridge. So Sheila, if you saw yourself in a dream like that, well, you say, okay, that me, come and infuse me with the healthy running in the meadow. Yeah. And you do it, yes, Anna, you can do it straight after the dream when you have seen something that you like, or it takes a practice to do it within a dream. So you guys who have managed to create the outcomes, it's perfect. If you can take a step further and within a dream command your current physical body to modify, adjust, and do changes, that's super. But it takes a practice. I can't say that it's gonna be easy or in 2 minutes, but it's worth trying anyways, because maybe you have already predisposition for that. Maybe you have already a talent that you don't know about. Those of you who are intense dreamers, maybe you know how to do it and you just need a couple of practices to make it alive. So give it a try and try to interact as much as you can in your dream, and taking that dimension really as another playground, as another reality that exists at the same time.
Yeah.
So we're probably not going to have much time for the lucid dreams, because what we would like to offer you, you know, when we were speaking about our personal cabling of energetic connections to the new reality, to the cosmic earth. So the dream line is one of them. And the dream line is something, you know, we have never thought about it consciously. So it's somehow somewhere there and connecting to something. Yeah. But once we bring it, the same as we did for our grounding connection and our solar plexus, once we reestablish this under our own terms, well, for us, the quality, the content, and everything about our dreams changed from that moment. So we felt like really offering that to you. And this is what we can do right now. If you're up to, it will actually take you out of some random connections that you have accumulated during your life that, you know, bring you to places like to old house or, you know, some recurrent loops. It just gets you out of what has never been your really. So Vittoria will lead you to that if you're up for it. And before that exercise, I would just like to emphasize that the reason why we bring this up is really to encourage you to see that this reality is as unreal or as real as any other aspect that we call dreams, and that all of it is just our hologram. If it's your hologram, it means your rules, your hologram, your power to change it. So that freedom of changing things as we have in the dreams, well, we have to bring it here. We had a funny Facebook video about the cat and the mouse this morning.
Yeah.
And we would like to share it maybe later in the group. But how even the most unbelievable reality can become true if you change the data, if you change the way you actually decide things to be. It's a pure quantum reality creation. It's super simple. It only involves two ingredients: 0-point field, which is you, and the frequency of heart, which you also have. And from there, you can turn any reality the way you want it. And the mind that says, yeah, the how, but it's not possible, but if it would be so easy, well, switch that off and remember the power that you have to change those flower into candle in the dream. Yeah. So not more, not less of the same power you have on this side. And let it sink in and understand that this is what the age of Aquarius is about. How to realize that what we hear and kind of understand as mental information, that we're creators, we're gods, all the power lies within us, there's no other. So how to make that information actually your experience. So this is what the dream world teaches you, how you can be that, but in a physical reality and in spite of physical laws. And we have the power to choose our dreams and to choose our reality. Yeah. And that power you should never underestimate. And however, when I said the way in is not teachings, the way in is attention. If you pay enough attention, information will come. You don't have to take the course necessarily or read 30 books. You might read the books and never do anything about it. The power of attention will actually bring you the ingredients immediately for the every next step you need to do to get in touch with your true power through the dreams and into the reality. And it's closer than you think if you just pay enough attention to the question. Voila.
Yeah.
That's enough for my monologue. Let's recable the dream line.
So would you guys like to do the recabling? For us, when we did this recabling, actually immediately from the same evening, the quality of the dreams that we have and what's happening there have been completely upgraded. It's uncomparable. So the reason why we are doing this is that along some of these lines of our body, different things have been attached throughout our lives so far. We haven't paid enough attention. So we will clear a couple of these spots and then we will make a thread through it. And those of you guys who are Kriya meditators, you will know some of the spots on the back of your spine. We will go through these spots and do something different, of course, than in Kriya. But for the other of you, I will explain where some of these spots are so that you can actually put your attention through them, because we will be threading an energy line there. So first, what we will do, we need to clear the area that we call the coccyx. And this is your last vertebra on your spine that is like a little tail on the end of your behind, so to speak. So this is going to be the area that we need to first clear. I'm explaining this and then I will guide you through it. And we will clear it by opening the energy of the heart and actually going to that coccyx and flooding it with the energy of the heart. So if you would, you can touch with your hand the back of your the end of your spine, just to feel physically where this point is, so that you can go and do it. So the next spot after that where we're going to be going is the sacral point, and this is let's say the top of this sitting bone, or like a cranial sacral. People know exactly where it is. The, let's say, the end of this sitting area. So you can touch that area now. It's kind of right on the top of your belt, so to speak. Like, I don't know if you see, like back here. The third point is the back, also on your spine, but it is the back of your solar plexus. So your solar plexus is about where your belly button is and just at the same level behind. So you can touch that point as well. That's the third point where we're going to go through. So then fourth is the back of your heart. So you can touch the back of your heart. The fifth is just behind your vocal strings. So it's kind of like here where this protrusion is. We will go through that. And the sixth is in the back of your head and in the center of the skull inside. So it is where the pineal gland is. So these are the 6 points. I will guide you through them, but so just that you know through where we are going. So everybody clear about these points? If you have touched them, it's enough. So if you're ready, you can close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And take another deep breath in. And with the breath out, we take out all of the thoughts we had today. And one more deep breath in, breathing out through your feet and through the place where you're sitting. We take out all of the thoughts that we had throughout the day and sink in deep in the seat where you're sitting. And take just about 3 breaths in and out to stabilize in this point. And with each breath out. Feel how you're sinking deeper in your chair, and your eyes are going backwards towards the center of your skull. And you're relaxing and getting ready. So now put your attention in the center of your heart. Imagine the diamond of the attention being in the center of your heart. And fill your heart with love and joy. See how it feels to be loving and joyful in your heart. And with 3 breaths, inflate your heart to the size of about 1 meter around you. So first breath in, breath out, we blow into the heart and make it grow, maybe 1/2 meter. Another breath in, breath out, we blow into the heart and inflate it 75 centimeters. And then 1 more breath in, and we blow up the heart to the size of about 1 meter around us. And feel that joy and love completely filling that space of inside of the heart. And once that you clearly feel it, take the frequency and vibration of this feeling of joy and love and breathe it in into your coccyx. Literally, with the breath in, you take the air, with the breath out, we breathe love and joy into our coccyx. And we do this 3 times. We breathe in the air, we breathe out the joy and love in the coccyx, and we cleanse anything that has been there before. And the 3rd breath in, and with the breath out, we cleanse everything that has been in the coccyx so far, so it contains only love and joy, frequency of the heart. And with this bell, I'm fixing that vibration into your coccyx right now. And now we will raise this frequency of love and joy through and thread it through our spine, through these 6 points that we talked about. So through our coccyx, we take an elevator up and go to our sacral point and thread the silver thread of love and joy from the coccyx up to your sacral point on the spine right now. And infuse it with 1 breath in and 1 breath out. We take the elevator 1 more step up. And we take the silver thread of love and joy up into the point of your spine at the level of solar plexus. And with 1 breath in and out, we fixate love and joy in that spot. Now we take the elevator yet up 1 level. And we take the frequency of the heart of love and joy on the back of our hearts, in the spine behind our heart. And fix it there with 1 breath in and out. Now we go 1 more elevator up, 1 more floor, and take the silver thread to the back of our vocal strings. So this is the last protruding vertebra just under your neck. We take the frequency of love and joy and anchor it there with one breath in and breath out. And now we go to our final spot. We thread this thread at the level of your so-called medulla. So this is the back of your head, but project your intention right in the center of your skull. So it is in the center where your pineal gland is. So that's where we are bringing the silver thread of love and joy. And fix it there with one breath in and one breath out. So now at this point, we are going out of our body with the silver thread, and we go through the crown chakra, and we go with the elevator up, 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 all the way to the top of the atmosphere, all the way to the center of the sun. And from there, following our galaxy into the center of the galaxy, and from there into the center of all the galaxies. Big black hole that leads right out of space, time, and dimensions. And we thread the loop of this thread through the place that's outside of space and time, and it's the 0 point of all possibilities. So just make a loop and loop it with one breath in and out. And now we go several breaths and taking this silver thread down, all the way down through the center of our galaxy, down to the center of the sun, down into the atmosphere, down through all of these points. First, your pineal gland, down to the back of your throat, down to the back of your heart, down to your back of the solar plexus, down to the back of your sacral chakra, and down into the coccyx. And now the silver thread to the dream world is being thread. And with this bell, I'm fixing it there from now on and forever. So feel for a few moments this new connection that we have made. Connection with the silver thread of dream line into the field of infinite possibilities. How does it feel? And from this point, we go back to the center of your heart. With one deep breath in, we deflate it into the regular size of your heart. And from this point, we get back into the room, back into the seat. And when you're ready, slowly come back and slowly open your eyes. You're welcome back. And we won't have too many words from this point on. We just made this connection, and all that we want to ask you to do is to observe your dreams tonight and in the next few days.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget to daydream, because daydreaming is where the source, where your soul goes for a walk. So give the space for your daydreams, because that's where the grid of the mind opens and the soul can fly and catch some inspiration.
So enjoy your new wiring. We will be doing more of these rewiring sessions, because we really need to rewire all of our main systems. So for now, we rewired, I think, 2 or 3 of them for you guys. So
there's so much more to the topic. We only have as much time as we have. Maybe we continue in the dreams tonight, who knows? And let's play with it. Let's stretch our 3D beliefs to the point where it will be like in our video that we'll share on Facebook. Really watch it. It says it all.
Yeah. So big hug, guys. Thank you for being here, and we will see you next week.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Amazing. Bye.